was it last week?
Mm-hmm.
A certain guy told me he can do something just because he is a man, but I cannot do that because I'm a woman. I was like, wow, so we still really have that discrimination.
What is this thing? Was it something we could actually do?
Yeah, it is something. Let's say home chores. We were having a discussion. So he says women are supposed to do the home chores, let it be ironing and everything, and a man he cannot do just because he is a man. Putting himself in the stature of being a man, he cannot iron the clothes. You understand? Are you free as a woman?
I think freedom is subjective. Is it subjective? Is it objective? Whatever. Okay, I think everyone perceives freedom differently. Yeah. For some, being married to the man they want to marry, that's freedom. Because there are families that still do arranged marriages, and they select a wife for you, a husband for you, and you're married. So for some women, being able to marry the man you want is freedom. But when we look at the way the world has been running and where we are at now, women have been fighting for some freedoms that I would say we still do not have. Yeah? We have earned the right to work, but are we still being treated equally in the workplace? That's a whole discussion. It may seem that way, but generally women are still being paid less than men for doing the same work.
That is it, true.
Yeah? Women are still being fired for very small reasons, like you are pregnant. Yeah? Which are human reasons, like what do you expect? Yeah? Why aren't we firing the men whose wives are pregnant? Because you know she will need to go to the hospital. Won't he have to go with her? So I think when you look at it in that aspect of women are human beings, we are still lacking in that aspect of freedom. Now, have we earned some freedoms, like the ability to move around without having to request for permission? We have that now. We no longer have to live in our parents' houses until we are married. But we still cannot move freely, even during daytime. Just case in point, walk through Kaja during daytime and see if no one will accost you. And these days they've taken it as far as call it sexual abuse. Yeah, someone just touching you out of the blue and someone just speaking to you anyhow, calling you names. Yeah, it takes away our freedoms because now you cannot dress how you want to dress. Why? If I dress this way, a man is going to talk. If I dress this way, people are going to react to me like that. So we do not have the freedom to dress how we want. We do not have the freedom to express ourselves in the workplace, even to fellow women. We do not have the freedom to choose who we want to be and what we want to be. We're still limited to, say you want to be a professional pilot. They'll tell you women shouldn't become pilots because pilots are always on the road. They'll tell you women shouldn't be journalists because journalists are always on the road. Why? Because women are still holding on, being held into limitations of we can and cannot be this. So if you ask me, we do not have freedom. We've just learned how to live in a world where we are not free. Just like how a caged bird will continue to sing in a cage, we've learned how to adapt. It's only a few women who will just come out and say, no, I am not going to stand by these standards. And in most cases, they are hated women, they are disgraced women. Let's look at Stella Nyanzi. She's treated as a disgraced woman. Did she undress? Do we not see men walking around bare chest and no one says anything? Yeah? So why should it be any different for a woman?
Body shaming. for women is so, it's a very big thing in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're told how to dress, how to do anything.
How to walk, how to sit.
And when you talked about that sexual harassment when it comes to public places like markets, you never see those men touching their fellow men trying to stop them.
Oh no.
But for a woman, they'll hold your hand, they'll do everything, you know, call you names. So, yeah.
I mean, I have a cousin who decided to do reverse psychology. If you can't call her, she'll return it, but to you as a man. If you say you have beautiful eyes, she'll also say, oh my God, you have beautiful eyes.
That's the way to go.
The reactions are always hilarious. Yeah, but then they do not expect it, which is, I've seen their reactions and they always seem so embarrassed. But like, if it's something that embarrasses you, why are you so free to say it to me?
On my side, freedom, I can't really say that. I think there is at least that little bit of freedom that nowadays we as ladies we are getting on another way. Because in the past, like in my culture, when a lady or when a girl, when they would choose for you a man to marry, and you're already married there is nothing like the moment your bride price has been given there is nothing like divorcing coming out of that marriage. You know, you have to be there. You have to settle there. But at least, you know, nowadays, we have freedom to choose which kind of man to marry and at which time period. You know, I can choose to say I'll get married when I'm 25, I'll get married when I'm 30. You know, we have that freedom nowadays, you know. A parent would bring up, of course, that argument, you're now done with graduation, you know, now you have to present a man to me, this and this, and of course you say, no, Dad, I'm still looking for a job. Okay, I've gotten a job. I have to establish myself. So at least there is that freedom nowadays. You can marry a man you want and at whatsoever age you want. And then when you get married and things are not working out for you, we have freedom to divorce, you know. So at least there is that freedom. That long ago, actually, I had never heard of that. You know, like you marry today, and then after, they see you come back home and sit. That would be a talk of the whole village, an embarrassment actually to the family. So whenever you do think about all that, how do I divorce this man? How will I make my parents feel? Who will marry you understand? But nowadays, a lady can divorce even with 3 kids, and you can remarry again. And you can remarry again to a good man, and this man can marry you, love you for who you are, love your children. So I think we have that freedom at least.
Yeah. I think when you speak of that freedom, in my culture, that freedom was available. You could divorce and go back home. If you do not have children, you know, your parents pay back the bride price.
Yeah.
If you have children, she leaves the children at your home and she goes back home. I think we've also been like, how they call it, westernized. Huh? We've been made to believe the traditions of other people. But I believe it's really important for us to go back and read deeply about our own cultures and the things they would accept and not accept. Because actually a woman could divorce a man as long as she wasn't being treated right. But you may not be able to know that because we've been taught a certain way. We've been taught according to what happened when the Christians came. Like we can think only as far as that because our grandparents, our great-grandparents were around about the time the missionaries came. So you may find that if you're born in a purely Christian family, you are taught to believe that, for us, you know, we do not divorce, we don't know what. But there was always an allowance for if you're not happy here, you can move.
Yeah, in certain cultures,
In certain
cultures, yeah. Because in my culture, not in all cultures.
Yes.
Yeah, because now in my culture, actually, like the years of my mom, because how would this thing happen? Most of the times, actually, now you know this .com, I just meet a guy, that even my family, you know, a guy who you've just known, your family members don't know about this guy, but you fall in love with him. Then tomorrow you're going to represent him before your parents, you understand? But now, long time, now that guy who you've just gone and represented to your parents, you have freedom even of tomorrow, saying, I can divorce you. Why? Actually, it was you technically, like, who knew him? Your parents had no, like, you know, that address. But now, like, long time, you find most of the times, if Amy, you know, like, we've grown up under the same village with Amy, you find Amy's parents are so close to my parents, you understand? Now, like, we in our culture, there is this thing, you know, if families are so close, you know, there is always that adoration of exchanging cows, you know, I give you a cow, you give me a cow. So when you do that, you're already bonding too much, you understand? So you find Kamaliza has a brother, you understand? So you find when I start aging up to 20, already Kamaliza's parents are already talking to my parents. By the way, how do you see if our son marries your daughter? You understand? So they talk about it, and by the time they come to tell you, even you just say, anyway, my parents wish me the best, and I've grown up seeing this guy, you understand? So you get married. So after getting married, there is already a bond that was between the two families, these two parents, you understand? So when you come into that marriage, first, when you're thinking of divorce, you know, you first think about the parents now. How is this friendship going to be? How is this, you understand? So there is just that cultural respect that sometimes, you know, you would grow up finding, saying no. Things can be spoken about. That is why elders were always there, you understand? So you find something is too big as a challenge, you have to swallow and talk to an elder. So these elders of families, they sit together and they sort out these things. So sometimes you just bear, and as time goes on, you find everything getting back together. But nowadays we have freedom. We have too much freedom, whereby if I'm married, even if I marry today, and I see things, you know, things are messing up, I can divorce the following month.
Yeah, that is really true. And when it comes to Uganda, we've gotten some good freedom, being on a positive side.
Yeah.
Because when we are talking generally about marriages, like you said, in your culture, there's freedom to divorce. But then in some other cultures, that wasn't freedom. And then also some even, they had to request you to take back the woman's family to take back the bride price.
Yeah.
But good enough, that was scrapped off according to our law. So they removed that. Even if you're a woman and you want to divorce, there is no way your family has to take back the bride price, because most women stayed in their marriages just because they did not have that capacity. They knew their families did not have the capacity to take back the bride price. Let's say 100 cows.
Yeah.
Who would do that, you know? So they would stay in suffering, but then that has gone off. So we really thank God that women here in Uganda, that has really changed. And then when it comes to the right to own property, long time ago it was only men who were allowed even to buy land. Okay, we would say the family of that one. Women were nowhere to be seen, whereby they would say, this one's wife has property here. It was not heard of at all. But then now women can own property. Women have built houses and apartments, and the rich women know. So that is a positive thing. That is freedom.
And
you know, freedom to buy property.
And actually, to add on that of property, you know, like long time, like years back, let's give an example. A man has come to marry you, and a man has found you. You're a child of a rich person. You already have your properties, you. You understand? So when a man comes to marry you, you know, those properties of yours belong to him. You understand? Everything goes to him. But nowadays we have freedom.
To
a man comes, you find me with my properties, they are mine. They belong to me.
That is it. Also inheriting as women. You know, there's also this thing of you as a woman, you cannot inherit from your father. They would only give property to the boys. But then also girls have gotten also the chance to get
equal
property.
chances to get property. So
ladies,
would you say that we have absolute freedom, that being said?
No, to me, I can't say it is absolute. We are still working on the freedom, and us being SBF and also a YouTube channel, the mere fact that we have that freedom to come here and talk to the ladies actually worldwide.
Can we talk about the people behind the camera? Who are they? I can just make our video disappear.
The men?
Yeah.
They can't because they have sisters, they have mothers,
Of course,
you know. So they wouldn't. Actually, we are shaping them to be better men, you know. When we talk about this, we shape men to be better men because they were brought up by women and they have sisters. So who wouldn't want their sister to be empowered, you know?
To have freedom of speech, freedom of yes,
everything. Yeah.
Freedom of being. Yeah. Just the existence should be celebrated and not, you know, there was a time in existence when they valued the birth of a boy. So the birth of a girl would be like, you know, another waste of cows.
Exactly. That is actually true. Actually, when some marriages would end up breaking up, like a man marries you, and your firstborn is a girl, secondborn is a girl, thirdborn is a girl, already he you know, pressure starts coming from the family. No. Bring another wife. You know, bring this and this. But at least we are thankful.
So ladies, as we've talked about the freedom, how it was back then and what we know about for sure, and then now what it is. So we've mostly talked about the marriage aspect and relationship aspect. How about work? To be sincere, you're looked at as a woman before even your qualifications come out.
Yeah.
But it is just that we've been uplifted, we've gone to good schools, even if the women who have not gone to good schools, the ones who have worked on themselves to be out there and do the best they can, they've tried to reach to the top of it and really prove people wrong, that women can really do what they have to do.
Yeah.
And they can do the same thing or even better actually. Women can do better. So it is still lacking. There is that thing of, yes, you're a woman, you cannot do this, or you have to do this, you understand? So in the work aspect, we need to try harder. Like, as women, let's
Who is
get
trying? The gatekeepers or?
as women, we have to stand
women,
up
we
for
have-
ourselves
yeah.
because you will always be looked at as a woman before even your qualifications come out.
I mean, understandably, in my workplace or in my line of work, content creator, but then again, social media manager. In my line of work, there are more men than women. And they do not take you seriously as a woman because they're like, if you want to go this side, will you also go? If you want to do this, will you also do it? Like, you as a woman, can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah? And we get that a lot. I feel like sometimes I may not have gotten opportunities by virtue of the fact you're a woman. You're a woman. Can you shoot this content? Yeah? People, like, then people reference the people who worked before you. You know, this guy, he used to do like this. You know, this guy, he used to do like, you know, and you are seeing that you're taking strides in a, you know, in a much more positive direction, but they would not fail to remind you that you're a woman and we do not expect much from you.
No, that is it. I've really faced it. I've faced it at work, whereby even a client, you know, as lawyers also, there's so many men in the legal profession than women. So when they see a woman, there is that, even if you go to court, there's so many few women who are practicing, like, going to court, mostly. So when you go to court, one client tells me, will you really be aggressive enough like a man? As if you really need to be so aggressive for you to win the case, which is not the fact.
Yeah.
You do the best and then you win the case, you know? So it's not a matter of being so aggressive, of which I do not say that being aggressive is bad, but also that some women who are aggressive, and which is also good, it is okay.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't expect every woman to be aggressive.
Or
To
even
act the same way
use
as men.
aggressiveness as a measure of success.
Yes. So yeah, I've also seen it a lot.
Yeah. Though on the other side, I can say, like where we are saying sometimes, like at our workplaces, where sometimes you find like yourself as a woman not being involved, you know, but when you know you are capable, capable. Sometimes you speak out. Yeah, speak out, because there are times when actually these bosses, sometimes who we who sometimes we think that they are not giving us that opportunity of we doing certain things that men do. There are sometimes, yes, they are doing that, but when you approach them, speak to them, you know, sometimes they will tell you, okay, try this and we see. When you try it out, yes, they will give you that same role that a man can do. You understand?
At this pay.
No. Sometimes no.
Like on,
it depends actually. Now when it comes to me, like being a psychologist, you know, I think any session that a man can see, actually now like to us, to my department, a lot of our clients prefer, you know, talking to women.
But that's a woman, a female-dominated field.
Now you see it is different.
Yes,
now
it is
your
different.
psychiatrists, actually most of them are women.
Yeah.
Women.
They are
Because,
female, you
well,
know. So it differs, you know.
It
yeah,
differs,
because
I
by
think,
nature we are
sometimes.
capable of empathy.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think sometimes we as women, where you feel at your workplace, you know, there is something you really want to try out that you're seeing your colleague as a man do there, or he's doing, that you feel you can do also. Take the confidence, stand out for yourself, approach your bosses, talk to them, you know. Yeah.
And anyway, if your boss is still still doesn't think women can do things in this generation, please think about moving. It's too late to be dealing with toxic workplaces. You need to learn to move. You're not celebrated, we're not accepted. Move.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you've worked enough already, you've done enough savings, ladies, try out setting up your side businesses. You know, put up something for yourself aside, you know. In the end, you can become a boss of your own self. Yeah.
Okay, so much to speak about. This is a very sensitive topic. And we have a feminist, we have a student of gender. That is, like, it's a very deep topic for us.
Yeah.
We can speak on it all day. But regardless, we are happy to have shared our thoughts. Now, if you think we left anything out, it's your turn to share with us in the comments, and we promise we shall, you know, keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us again. We love you as SBF. Another time we did a thing. Nitubakunda munonga.
Turabakunda cyane.
Tunawapenda sana, sana, sana. We love you so much.
Tubagala nnyo.
Now I don't know which other language to add to that.
Shall we try French? No, but anyway, we love you so much. Thank you for joining us. Do join us another time and another time. In fact, subscribe, like, and share with your friends who might like this episode.